Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. It is December 26, 2019. I want to wish you a belated Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and whichever holidays you may celebrate. This is going to be a special video. We are looking at the 2020 forecast officially on the iGold Advisor channel for silver and the silver miners. I'm super excited. Let's get into this. Huge opportunity setting up, guys. Remember, we've been talking about this for the last number of months, that this impulsive move was getting ready here in gold and silver. We're looking at gold over the short run. The flat line you see here was for Christmas Day. Look at this. Real strength showing here in gold into the low 1500s again. Remember, the previous peak in the spot market was 1560. Slightly higher in the futures market. So I think we're going to be back there within a week or two, and then we're going to break higher. This is what it looks like for gold. Switching over to silver. Silver had been stronger for the last few days and weaker here just over the last couple of days. Just today, basically, they really tried to smack silver down back below that $18 level. They succeeded over the short run, but it's looking really good here, guys. And I think really the thing for silver at this point is that it's going to follow gold. Gold has some higher targets. We will be covering that in the premium subscription coming up this weekend, the official higher targets for gold. But we are going to focus on the 2020 forecast here for silver. So just as a little backdrop, let's remember how clear this signal was that we've been seeing, why I've been so bullish on silver for the last number of months, and what the signal was that we were looking at. We're looking at the SIL. This is the Senior Silver Miners Fund on top. We're looking from the July period through the present, the last 6 months. And here on the bottom, we're looking at the price of silver. This is the SLV fund. It's a proxy. It's a paper fund. And notice how the silver miners, just a week and a half ago, were clawing their way back up to the September peak. Can you see this right here? This should be very clear. They were coming down in September, bottomed in October, and they were clawing their way higher over the last 2 months, right? Even as what? The price of silver itself was making lower and lower and lower peaks until just a week and a half ago. So this kind of divergence is what I study almost every single day. And I bring this to you when it is relevant. And I swear I just don't know anyone else who follows the relationship between the miners and the prices of the metals themselves on a day-to-day basis. This is one of the things that I think, if you are, whether you're investing in the silver miners themselves, and we'll look at this in a moment, some potentials, or whether you're investing in silver, physical metal itself, I cannot fathom one being an investor in either one of these without just doing the direct comparison like this every single day. It's that important. Okay, so we move this out of the way. Look at how clear. Boom, broken. Impulsive surge higher in the silver miners. Here comes silver. It's about to catch up. The silver miners have just broken above their September peak. Look at this. That equates to somewhere like silver above $19.50. And we just looked at silver. It's still below 18. So this is telling me that silver has quite a bit of ways to go. And this move in the silver miners doesn't look like it's done. So there's a lot of potential here coming up across both parts of this. You just have to follow this really closely. And I think you need to look at this at least once a week. I'm really trying to urge you to do that. We try to cover this here, but I'm covering a lot. Sometimes I cover gold, sometimes the gold miners, sometimes we look at the US dollar here, sometimes we look at commodities or the silver miners. If you're a silver investor, you need to be following this every single week. Just consider that. Let's look at the long-term perspective here. I'm talking very long-term for silver. And this will get us into the official 2020 forecast. What do I think is coming for silver itself? Important points to keep in mind here. Most important, magenta. Look at this magenta color here. All the way back from $5 when silver was $5 back in 2003. Rising up to $6. Skirting, flirting with this trend line here. Boom, boom, boom. Look, exceeding it by about 25 or 30 cents nominally. Rising up to $20 here in 2008. Crash of 2008 low. Look where silver found support. Boom, right on the magenta trend line. Move up to $50 per ounce. Bear market into 2015. Where did silver find support? The trend line. Trend lines. So simple, yet so powerful. Broken below. Rejected. This was the big turning point that we were looking at. When silver recovered this trend line just 6 months ago, this changed my model. And people say, well, Chris, sometimes you change, what you're saying. For example, 6 months ago you were bearish and now you're more constructive on silver. Exactly right. Because I admit that I don't know everything. What I do is I pay attention to the signals that the market is showing me. And this signal looks very, very good here for silver. We've recovered this trend line. Where does this leave us? Let's talk about it. The silver miners, we just looked at that a moment ago. The silver miners are already pricing in silver above the 2019 peak. Remember, that was $19.50. They're pricing in above that level right now. So, our official forecast for silver for 2020 on the iGold Advisor channel is for silver to exceed its 2016 peak. This is the forecast. It does not look like the miners are done with that move, and they're already pricing in above $19.50 silver. So if they're not done with that move, and that's going to continue higher for the silver miners, I believe that silver will be exceeding its 2016 peak, which was $21.25. The next major resistance level for silver will come in here in the confluence between this surge high from 2013 and these series of lows here right above the $26. So let's call that a target range for 2020 for silver between $21.25 and $26. It is a range, absolutely, but it is higher from here. And there's potential still to capture some of that move that is coming. When we get into the target range, we will be narrowing this down, okay? I won't be saying forever 21 to 26. As we get into that range, I'll be narrowing it down. And then what do I think is going to occur in the second half of 2020 when everyone starts chasing this move? And when the mainstream media starts to pick up on this, I think silver will reverse and it will punish those people who were chasing the move when silver gets to $22 or $23, let's say. And I think silver will have a significant retracement, and we will be here. I will be alerting my premium subscribers to this first. We will be taking defensive action when silver gets into that $21, $22, $23 range. We will be taking defensive action, and you will receive flash updates when we do that. We will be taking profits off the table, and we will protect ourselves from a retracement that will probably come into 2021. Okay? Very, very clear resistance level here at 26. You can see that going all the way back to 2011. This line right here in black, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Trust me, this will act as resistance when we get closer to it by mid-2020. This is not that far away. The big question, after we hit our target above $21.25 and we retrace, is what is going to happen to silver? Is this going to be the time where it advances after the retrace into a real bull market to 30, 40, 50 and above? Or is something else setting up that's going to cause silver to grind back down toward 2016 lows, perhaps down toward 12, 11, or 10. I cannot answer every question years and years ahead of time. I like to take things, if you haven't noticed, I like to take things with like 6 to 18 month time frames. That really works for me. And then when we get to those junctures, we zoom things in. Right? That way we don't have to stay married to any one position for the rest of our lives. It's kind of nice. It feels good, at least to me anyway. We can take nice positions and we can evaluate them when we get there. The official 2020 forecast for silver, above the 2016 peak. Just to reiterate one more time, that is $21.25. We're only at 18 right now, so there's at least $3.25 left to go. If not, into the low to mid 20s is coming here for silver. That could be quite a bit more. And I want to just show you some of these opportunities that still exist. If you're still watching this video and you like to achieve a little bit of leverage, we looked at Impact Silver a couple weeks ago. I think that's a really good company. It's already had a nice move. Congratulations if you participated in that. Would I be buying at exactly this moment? I'm a little less certain because the real buying opportunity was a couple weeks ago. Do I still think it's going higher? Yes, absolutely. But let's look at a company that hasn't quite had its move yet that I think is going to play catch up. I'm calling this Silver Company X for a moment. Okay? And this company has already moved 10% in one day. Just the last week. But take a look at something for a minute. Remember, we talked about silver breaking its 2016 high. The equivalent move for this company is going to be a 200% move. This is a company, it's a Canadian-based company with a mine in Mexico. They're sitting on 130 million ounces of silver equivalent in the ground. This company has no debt. It's the same company that it was in 2016, but it's trading right now at 22 cents per share. And if this company gets back to its 2016 high, which I think it will, as silver moves above $21, from 22 up to 66 cents, this is a 200% move in the price of this company. Think about that for a second. If this company gets back to where it was in 2011 at $3.60 per share, this will be a 1,536% gain. Once again, this company has no debt. And they're sitting on a literal mountain of silver. So you don't have too many opportunities like this. I am not going to give this company away, the name, for free. You can find that in the premium subscription. I may give this away in the future, but I suspect it will already have about a 50 or 100% move before I get this away for free. So you can find out more about that on the homepage. There are, at this exact moment, when we look at it, when we take a look at the silver chart, and we see it's following gold, and gold appears to be in an impulsive surge higher. When we take a look at silver, we look at where those silver miners are right now, exceeding their September peak. Remember this. They're already above where they were in September for the large cap miners. That's telling me that silver is moving higher in 2020. We have clear resistance at $21.25. I think this is the time that silver finally breaks that and gets back into the low to mid $20 per ounce. And then we have a big question mark. I think this question mark will be decided sometime in the second or the third quarter of this year coming up. Huge pivotal year coming up. That is the official 2020 forecast for silver. If you'd like to follow this more closely than even here in these free videos, make sure you check out our premium subscription, Precious Metals Intelligence. We produce videos like this, not only like this, but I want to tell you what's coming up next week is the entire 2019 annual review in video format and the full 2020 outlook. We've just covered silver here. We'll be covering gold, the gold miners, the US dollar, the stock market, everything you can possibly think of, including that silver company, the X company that I just said should rise about 200% here over the next 6 months, if my calculations are correct. You can find out the exact name to that company here for what I believe is a reasonable fee for what the research is that you're provided. If you think about it, and if you are investing seriously in this sector, you want to call your situation one that deserves premier research, I think you should really check this out. This is for those investors. If you would like to speak to me in person and you're less interested in individual miners, but let's say you want to construct a portfolio of physical metal, you're looking for dealerships that you can trust, just know that I don't work for any dealerships. I don't work for any of these mining companies. I simply look out for the best interest of individuals. So I can offer you advice that other individuals cannot offer. We look at everything under the sun when I speak one-on-one with my consultation clients. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel. Like I said, I think 2020 is going to be a pivotal year. And if you're just getting started in silver, there's not going to be a more exciting time than 2020. I think you're about to see a nice surge. If you've just bought, your first several ounces, I think you're going to see a nice return on that. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can stay tuned. We'll dial it in as we get closer to silver towards some of those targets. And I want to thank those who are supporting this channel on Patreon. If you found value in these videos and you want to contribute, I absolutely appreciate that. I want to leave you with one final thought coming up for 2020, not just 2020, but the entirety of the decade coming up. We talk a lot here about finance and about the value of the currencies and about the value of the precious metals. And I think that's really important. That's why this channel is dedicated to topics like that. We'll be expanding what we're doing next year. And it's important to take care of yourself financially. It's important to make sure that you have your bases covered. I really do think that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And in addition to those things, let's make sure to enjoy the lives that we have here, the time that we have here in 2020 and the rest of the decade. Sometimes I see with specific precious metals investors, I see they get a little bogged down sometimes in the fear syndrome. And I don't think we need to do that. If you go back and you look at that chart of silver, right? Silver rose 1,000%. It rose from 5 to 50 within less than 10 years. And society did not collapse. It was not Armageddon. The apocalypse was not upon our footsteps. Yeah, things got a little dicey there in 2008. And yes, there are problems in the world, and there will always be problems in the world. But my point is this. We can be right on the precious metals, and we can be right on our forecast here without it needing to be an end-of-the-world type of situation. And for that matter, I actually prefer that. I want to make significant profits on my investments and to be able to enjoy those profits in the world and also to be able to share some of those profits with less fortunate people. And so for the 2020s, I just want to say an early Happy New Year coming to you. Thank you for watching this channel. I want to wish you specifically peace, prosperity, and joy for the coming decade. I think we can all do this together. Really good things coming our way, guys, in 2020. For myself and for Klaus, we wish you a happy new year. I will not be here this time next week. I'm going to take most of next week off. So I will see you in a couple weeks. You know where to find me. Enjoy yourself.